face the fact that what a politician wants to do is not necessarily what the people want done. The first thing a politician thinks of is getting re-elected. Now, what is necessary to get him re-elected is not always what is good for the country. And of course, we are all familiar with politicians who have promised anything to get elected and then did almost nothing for real for the country or for the people when they got to Washington. It is an unfortunate fact, but it is one that must be faced, that if the people want to be served, they need to serve themselves. If the people want certain bills passed, they need to have it so that they can vote on those issues directly for themselves and pass them. They do not want and can no longer afford to minuet around with politicians. Let us take the national debt. It is becoming enormous. It may lead to inflation, and it may lead to serious financial problems. But nothing is done about it, really. People talk about it, but they don't do it. The only way we're going to differentiate the talkers from the doers is to put the power in the hands of the doers, the people, and leave the politicians to make their speeches, which are words, words, and usually words. The people need to be able to vote directly on big issues. And some of these issues are financing, budgeting, borrowing large amount, taxes. These are a beginning of what the people should approve of. Instead, these things are forced on the people by politicians. And let us remember, when the people elect a politician, they are electing a personality. Now, the politician may say he is going to do this and that. But there's no reason for him to, because after he gets elected, he has no, or she, has no accountability. There is no reason for them to do what they promised, and as we all know, many do not. The only way to solve this problem is to have the people vote directly on some issues for themselves. Then the voters can take the message of what they want to Washington. They can send a message to Washington. If the people cannot personally go to Washington, through voting they can send a message to Washington on what is going to happen and what they want. Now, most politicians, of course, will abhor this idea because they don't want to lose their power and to make the people nothing but their palms on a chessboard. What we need to remember is that true democracy has always been fulfilled in the early American town meetings, in Athens, and other democracies, when the people were able to vote directly on issues. Now, it is not they had to gather in one spot. It was simply that gathering in one spot enabled them to vote on all issues. Now, our present media does not have to gather us in one spot, but it can get us one vote on all the issues. Therefore, the time has come to reinstitute democracy as it was originally conceived. To what do we owe our ability to do this? It is one of the blessings of technology. We have heard a great deal about what technology may do that is bad, but this, I think, is one of the things technology may do that is brilliant and good and will result in an infusion of participative democracy in America as the people discover they can vote on issues. As long as all the people are allowed to do is elect personalities who promise, who have no accountability, who say they're going to do this, but they don't, then there really is no hope for the people. The people have to be enfranchised, not on all things, but on some major issues, like finances. Now, many people tell me, well, I already vote. I vote for a personality and he or she takes care of all that. And one woman told me, she said, I like it that way. And I said, well, then all means vote that way. Work for that way. But I thought, what does this mindless person ever think of doing? To want to give all their rights to vote to a personality, it sounds, well, so Hollywood. It sounds like we have found a personality and we follow that personality instead of going through government issue by issue. And I will tell you frankly, what the people have that the politicians don't, so that the people should vote. And that is common sense. The people know. They raise families. They live on budgets. They have community work they have to do. The people know from their experience in living that lines have to be drawn, that the country cannot pay for everything and do for everything. The country knows that certain things can be done just like in their families and certain things can't because we don't have the money. Politicians don't have the common sense people, I believe, would show in their voting. Now, people will tell me, you trust the people? And I say, yes, I believe in the American people. And then I say, you trust the politicians? And they are usually nonplussed, because I would much rather depend upon the people than upon politicians. And particularly among politicians who are blindly elected, and these blindly elected personalities are given the right to vote on everything.